Hey everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my live video. I'm just going to give it a few seconds for everyone to find me. So you guys, I haven't been live on my business page for a long time because I do most of my live videos on my Stampin' Ink Designs group. I usually feature afternoon tea time and a card every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you don't belong to my Stampin' Ink Designs group on Facebook, make sure you find me because I have videos there once a week. Okay, I can see everyone coming on. So today I'm featuring the October Paper Pumpkin Kit, which is called Peaceful Christmas. I'm going to actually show you how to assemble both cards that came with the kit. And then I'm going to show you 3 alternative designs that I came up with. And just a reminder for those of you that are not subscribed, if you like the kits and what I'm going to do tonight, every month I do alternative projects and I send an email out with a newsletter for all the directions and steps to completing my cards. So make sure you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin by November 10th to receive the November kit. I just have a few announcements before I get started. For those of you that have participated in my Merry Christmas card club, if you like kits and you've never tried my club, this is a great opportunity. I have 2 more days remaining for you guys to sign up. I'm using the whimsical trees along with the Christmas tree dies. You can see there's a lot of dies. There's 13 dies in this set. That's what I'm featuring this month. So again, you got 2 days to sign up. I'm going to show you one of the cards that I've already shown everyone. This is one of the cards in the kit. Now you get $20 worth of products and you get 8 card kits, 2 of each kit. So this is one of the kits. It's a little easel card. And because you guys are all here with me tonight, I'm going to show another card. So you get, there's 6 cards total. There's 8 card kits. These are the 2 bonus cards that you can use using the products. You can create those also. So here's another one of the cards. This one has the embossing on the background. So you'll get 2 kits to make this one also. And I'm not going to show you the remainder because those are all a surprise usually. So if you need help in registering, let me know and I can send you the link. Okay, let's get started. So this month is all about Christmas cards. Now we received enough products in our kits to make 10 cards. I'm just going to show you the card bases. So you get 5 of this color. And then you get 5 with the print. Now, it's going to be hard to show this on camera. All of these snowflakes that you see, they're all glittery. They're all shimmery and glittery. I'm not sure if I think you guys can see that. It's so pretty. So those are the 10 card bases. And then, of course, we have the envelopes. Now, if you guys have envelopes on hand already, what's great about these envelopes, I'm going to show you the front. Look, these are perfect to make a card with if you want to cut them up. And I'm actually doing that on one of the cards today. So lots of cards. And even another tip, if you take this card base and cut it in half, you get 2 cards out of 1 card base. And you can just add white on the background. We have the little sentiment layers, the little banners, the Noel die cuts, and we also have some leaves, and I'll show you that when I start the card. These actually just pop out. They're just die cuts. And then we have several sheets of these layers that we also use on the cards. So I'm going to start out by showing you how to make these 2 cards, and then I'm going to show you the alternative projects. Now this is the stamp set. I have some on my blocks already. I love this little tree image. I haven't used it yet, but there's quite a few sentiments, snowflakes, and of course the trees. We also have the red twine. We have some bling. We gotta have the bling. Look how pretty this bling is. Very shimmery. Then we have our dimensionals and our glue dots. Now the glue dots I will not be using tonight. I'm just going to use my own, only because they take a while to peel off and I don't want to have to deal with that. And the ink color is Shaded Spruce this month. And I'm going to use my large one since I have that one already. Okay, so let's get started on the first card. Here's the completed one. Look how pretty that is. So we're going to start out with a Shaded Spruce card base. And you know, I messaged everyone on email to let them know this was the Christmas kit, and a lot of people doubled their subscription so they'd have more cards. I'm just going to pull these out because, you know, Christmas time, it gets busy and it's nice to have everything in a kit and you can just glue together and you don't have to do any thinking. That's what I like about these kits. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is turn the printed side over to the back side. I'm going to add some dimensionals. If you follow me on my other page that I told you about at the beginning of the video, you guys know how much I love my dimensionals. I almost use them on any project that I make. Okay, so that's going to go there and you can see the height. Next, we're going to use the little tree die cut, and those just pop right out. And these are actually vellum. Just be careful when you pop them out so you don't rip them. I just kind of follow along the edge. I actually ripped one yesterday because I went a little too fast. Okay, and you could actually use this, which I did on another card that you'll see featured probably next week. I used this part, I kept it and I used it. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my glue dots. I'm just going to add some in the center because if you add glue dots all over this top and bottom, the glue dots are probably going to show through. Okay, so I've added my glue dots. Now I'm just going to press that down. So there's my trees. And now I need this, this, and this. I'm just going to use my adhesive. We're going to see, I'm going to show you, look how you can see the glue dots. They show through. That's why it's important not to put them at the top. Now I'm going to put this gray piece right there. We're going to add the banner right to the middle of that. And then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue to do my Noel. And normally, if you don't have any other adhesive, you would use the glue dots to glue this down also. I'm going to show you something that I did this week that you might be interested in if you're only a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Okay, so there's all my layers. Now I'm just going to finish off by adding the bling. I'm going to add 3. I'm using my paper piercer to pick it up. It's a lot easier. And there's card number 1. Look how quick. So you would make 5 of these if you follow the instructions from the kit. So there's card number 1. Now I'm going to bring in supplies for card number 2. And I'm going to need another red banner. Plus the circle. So we need 3 pieces, and I've already gone ahead and done a little bow with the twine, so you don't have to watch me make a bow. So we're going to fold this in half. This one's really quick. You're going to add glue to the back of your circle. Well, maybe. Oh, I think this one is done. I need to get a new one. Okay, I'm going to add glue to my circle and put this a little bit more to the left, right about there. And again, we're going to add the red banner. That's going to be centered over the circle. Look how pretty that is. I got to make sure that's straight. Okay. Now I'm going to do the Merry Christmas with the shaded spruce ink. And that's going to go on this little label right here. Oops, I'm going to get another one. I get some ink on that one. Where are my labels? Here they are. I must have got my finger in the ink on that one. And you can always flip it over. If it's your very last one and you mess it up, you can always stamp on the white side. Okay, now we're going to glue this in place with the dimensionals. And then I'm going to show you some alternatives. Now I'm going to glue this a little over to the right so it's not centered. And we're going to glue the little bow in place with the glue dot. And that's going to go right here. So look how quick and easy, you guys. I'm going to add some bling. Again, I'm going to do 3. And there's card number 2. Isn't that cute? Quick and easy. Okay, now let me set up for my first alternative. Now, the only thing I'm adding to this one is the clear Wink of Stella and thick basic white. 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And I've gone ahead and cut the panel. So remember, if we cut one of these panels in half, you get 2 pieces to make 2 cards with, or you can make your card as is. And this measures 5 by 3 3/4. Now this piece, what I did is I took one of the pre-printed layers and I cut it in half. So this actually measures, let me see, 2.5 inches wide. We need a banner and we're going to use the white side. And then we're also going to use the little trees. And this is the card. This is my first alternative. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the green layer down. So by having a piece of white, all you need to do is cut it in half at 4 1/4. You get 2 card bases. If you cut this down to 2 pieces, you can make 2 more cards. Okay, there's the green. Now I'm going to add the trees. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to use a sponge, and I need a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to add some liquid glue on my paper. And I'm actually going to just dab that in the glue, and I'm going to add glue to the back of my trees. And this is the reason I'm using the clear Wink of Stella, because I'll show you what that looks like after I glue it down. Let me glue it down. Oops, wait a minute. I need to cut off this tree right there. A little bit more because it's too long. It sticks out at the top. I should have used a paper trimmer to do this. Okay, so there's my trees. Now, if you look closely, I have clear Wink of Stella. The trees are all sparkly because some of the glue did show through a little bit. So what I did is I painted all of my trees with the clear Wink of Stella. And it is so sparkly. It's just really quick to color these. And I'll see if I can hold it up to the light again so you guys can see it in the camera. And it kind of makes those little dots of glue disappear. Now, let me see if I can show that to you. It's so sparkly. I hope the camera can pick it up. Okay, my next step, I'm going to use the red twine. And I'm going to go around this whole layer. I'm just going to go around it once and create a bow way over to the left, because I want enough room there for my sentiment. And let me cut my twine. And I'm still going to go ahead and push that way over to the left. Okay, now we're ready to glue this down. We're going to use the dimensionals. So again, if you're just tuning in, I showed you guys how to create the 2 cards from the kit with the instructions. So you guys can go back and watch if you haven't tried to assemble your kit yet. And this is my number 1 of 3 alternatives. Okay, now I'm going to bring in some real red ink. And the sentiment on this one is from our home to yours. I'm going to stamp that on the banner. And then I'm going to use the mini dimensionals this time to glue the banner down. And that's going to go right above the twine. Okay, how's that so far? Isn't that cute? Okay, now, gotta have the bling. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there's alternative card number 1. And I'll bring them all back out to show you guys once I'm done. Okay, number 2. I'm gonna flip it over. And again, I'm going to start with the same basic white 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. And this time I'm going to use the envelope plus this little round piece. Oh, and I had to peek. I need one of the Noel die cuts, and these come out really good too. They're really easy to pop out, but I am always just super careful because I don't want to ruin any of them. Okay, so this is card number 2. So what I've done is I've flipped this little round piece over to the white side and made it look like a moon along with the die cut, and we're going to cut the envelope down. Now, when I cut down an envelope, I usually cut off the ends first in case there's something really pretty on the inside I don't want to ruin. So we're going to cut off both ends. And this measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Whoops. Cut this off. So there's really nothing pretty on the inside except for these little end pieces that have the plaid on it. So 4 1/4. And then you have the flap you can do something with. And we're going to do 4 1/4 again. Look how easy that was to cut, and look at the pretty background we have. Now, before I glue this on, I did stamp some snowflakes in the background, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the shaded spruce. And let me get my scrap out, because I am going to go off of the edge. I'm just kind of putting little clusters here and there. It's so good to be back on my business page. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, so now you can see how I stamped the snowflakes. We're going to go ahead and glue that to the front of the card base. Did I do that one? Yeah, I did. And all I'm going to do is center that over to the front. Just like that. I need to trim the white just a tad. Whoops. It's a little thick. Let me see if I can get the rest of that. Let me trim. I have to trim. I should have used my other paper trimmer. This is a little thick to go through 2 layers. Okay, next step, we're gonna add some twine, and this time I'm wrapping it around twice. Isn't that pretty? And I didn't show you, the trees are actually like a silver foil, so they're really shiny. So if you guys did not get this kit, you're missing out, because this is a beautiful kit. Okay, now I'm gonna create my bow, and I've got one more card to show you. And again, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine, you're going to get a newsletter probably next week with all of the directions to the alternatives, because I have more than just the 3 that I'm doing tonight. Okay, there's my ribbon. Now we're gonna add our little white moon. It's gonna go right here. Then we're gonna add our little Noel. So you guys have a lot of envelopes. You have 10 envelopes. You could make 10 of these cards and just use white envelopes. Everybody has envelopes. It's gonna go right here. And now we're gonna add our 3 blings. There's 1, 2, and 3. How about that one? You guys like that? I can see a lot of hearts going by. Okay, 1 more to go. Let me clear my counter. Now for this one, I'm using this card base. I'm not using much. Oops, I already have one of those. The red banner. I'm gonna use this gray piece, but I'm using the white side. And then I'm using one of the labels. And again, what I'm gonna show you, I'm doing on 1 card base, but you could actually cut this in half and do 2. This is pretty simple, but it's kind of a little wow to it, because I'm actually gonna use the Granny Apple Green light and dark stamping blends. And look what I did with the trees. I colored them. Isn't that neat? And even though I colored them, they're still sparkly underneath. You get the snowflakes, I can still see them. They're still sparkly. So let's go ahead and fold this on the score line. Oh, you guys like that one. I'm gonna bring in my little pad. So what I did is I used the light first on the 2 large trees, because they're kind of near you, and the 2 back here, they're further back, so they're going to be darker. So I'm going to start out with the light Granny Apple Green. And you know what? Even though I'm coloring over the snow, I'm making the snow disappear. Ha. So I'm from Maine, and the snow is coming soon. I'm making the snow disappear right now. I am so not ready for snow. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep coloring. Look how quick this goes. And don't be afraid to go over on the black. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even show. But just to show you how easy this is to color. And if you don't have the stamping blends, I think you could use the Stampin' Right markers very easily. So look at the difference between the 2 trees. Isn't that awesome? Okay, I'm gonna do this one with the same color, the light Granny Apple. And then we're gonna do the 2 other trees with the dark. If you don't have the same green, you can do a different green. I wouldn't go too dark though. I think the shaded spruce would be a little too dark. Now I'm gonna go a little bit slower on this one, only because it's a darker color. And it does show up a little bit more. So I'm trying to follow the shape of the tree a little bit closer on this one. But look how easy it is to add color to a black and white card. I'm so glad you guys like this. And look at the snowflakes. So that we have glittery snowflakes, and you can still see them even after coloring over. Okay. Now, next step, we're going to glue. Again, this is the gray piece, but we're going to use the white side. And that's going to go over about 1 inch from the bottom. Or three quarters of an inch more, I guess. We're going to do the red banner. And I put it a little bit lower than center. Okay, now I'm going to show you another trick. Did you notice the color around my label? All I did was I took, again, the marker, and I just outlined. And it makes it look like it's a cardstock layer on the underneath. I'm just staying within that silver embossed line, and I'm coloring to create a layered frame look. Look how quick that was. I'm bringing it up close so you guys can see. Isn't that neat? You could do red, you could do any color. And lastly, I'm going to bring in the Granny Apple Green ink pad and Peaceful Christmas Wishes. We're going to stamp that. Whoops. It stuck to my fingers. And then I'm going to add dimensionals. And this will be my third alternative project. So for those of you guys that are going to get my newsletter next week when you're for being a subscriber, I think I made 11 or 12 projects. So you're going to have some cool ideas. Okay, now I get the bling. And look how simple this one was. So let me bring them all in case you're just tuning in and you missed the beginning. So there's one alternative. Number 2. Number 3. And then these are using the instructions from the kit. What a pretty set of cards. And there's 10 cards for me already. So very nice card kit. So again, just a reminder. Oh, I wanted to show you something. For those of you guys that just do kits, I had a few of you guys ask about adhesives because you want more adhesives. Next week, I just did a round of adhesives that I sold, and I'm going to be doing round 2 sometime next week, so be on the lookout for that. So this is a mesh bag that I decorated with a belly band. And included inside is the glue dots, the liquid glue, tear and tape, dimensionals, mini dimensionals, and I'm also throwing in a free blending brush that I don't have an extra one because I mailed them all out. So be on the lookout for my adhesive bundle next week if you want more adhesives to go with your paper pumpkin kits. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone, and I hope to be with you again next Friday. I'm going to try to do a video on my business page on Fridays. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.